Got it. Looks like we're live on Facebook. See if anybody's joining us over there. And send out the bat signal. Everyone. And we'll assume that it's also working on YouTube. Google is easy. It's Facebook is the problem. So, how are things in Ohio?
Pretty good, can't complain.
Okay.
We got slow with our business for a little while, but it's definitely picked back up now. We're pretty busy.
Yeah, as the real estate market changes a little bit and starts to get back under control, it definitely makes a difference
It does,
for
yeah.
sure. Um, and you guys are you're 3D printing. Are you making something new, or are you making something old, or
Yeah, it's a new product we're coming out with.
cool?
It's
Is
a
it?
it's a muffler. We talked to you about it
Yeah.
at a little bit at the symposium. We're
Yep.
finally tuning things, and it's almost ready.
Nice. Nice. It's a muffler going somewhere in line on the pipe? Is that your thought?
Uh, it could be either
Okay.
inline or at the top of the exhaust.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, we'd have to have you sign an NDA before we
Yeah.
went any
Yeah,
further on this.
yeah.
Duh. And I don't have one on file already.
Okay. All right.
never
We'll just
never
leave it at
mind
that.
the Facebook and the YouTube side of things.
Right.
I developed a muffler too. It's just two things you just put in your ears, and then it just pretty much solves the problem. So
That works too.
seems to
Yeah.
work. Uh, so yeah. Well, this was kind of David's not joining us today. He's tied up, and I have a couple of different seminars that I've got in the works that I haven't rounded out yet. So I didn't want to try to do one real fast without telling anybody, but I kind of put it out there for people to, if anybody wanted to see, some live audits of their websites and to kind of get an idea of uh, what may or may not be, constricting you from getting leads. I'm just looking here real quick. I did get a one or two people that had contacted me, and wanted me to look at their stuff. And so, I will absolutely pull that one up. But yeah, I mean, you got me here. You got questions for me or things that you're wanting to know?
Uh, no, not really. I mean, I'd be interested to see if you did an audit on our site, what kind of improvements we've made between the work that you've put in, and we've also we came up with a pretty good game plan to get more Google reviews. So we implemented that a couple weeks ago, and it's been pretty successful. We've got,
Yeah.
I mean, just in the past like 2 weeks, probably like 10 at least Google reviews, maybe even more than that.
Yeah, I've been watching them come in. It's
Yeah.
I could definitely tell when a change is made, right?
Yeah.
In
Right.
systems and things and stuff like that, because it's obviously very clear when people kind of put some gas on the fire,
Yeah.
and this is it's a great example because I talk about this so much in these calls, but like you haven't changed the number of jobs that you're doing. It's just changing the strategy for getting the reviews, and
Right.
that's the thing that people are like, well, if I had more jobs, I'd get more reviews. No, you already have the jobs. So
Yeah.
if you have a job a week, you can get a review a week, right? So
And
that's a thing. And this is something you're putting into your people, right? I mean, your guys that you're encouraging them, and
Yeah, so what we did, and I'm fine with sharing it. Hopefully,
yeah,
other people watch this and can do the same thing. Basically, what we did is we got some business cards made for each one of our installers that has a QR code on it that basically just links to a Google review. And it says on the card, like, let me know how I did today. And so our installer, while they're there putting in the system, when they're finishing up, they
yeah.
hand the customer that card and say, hey, help me out if you could just leave a review, mention me in there. And basically what we told our installers is we'll just have a contest for a month. Whoever gets the most Google reviews will get a reward at the end of the month. And so it turns into like a little bit of a competition, but it's worked out really well so far.
I mean, we just went, those of you I saw last week, we were down in New Orleans, and there were a couple restaurants that we specifically picked. Actually, I should say, anything that wasn't a recommendation from someone else, we picked because of the reviews. We went to it. We were looking at the pictures. We were looking at the reviews, and that is 100% what we were like basing our buying power with, right? And at one of them, we had a great meal, and the server gave us a thing. She's like, "Hey, and on theirs, they really wanted like the Yelp reviews. They really wanted like the TripAdvisor, because I'm only looking on Google, so I had not looked on those other sites that are obviously used. And so they had gone a step further, and they were trying to push my review to one of those other services that they wanted more on. And so that really helped. But, the server made it personal, right? The server made it personal and said, if you could mention me, you could mention, it shows that it's, I did this, and then and we actually had that happen one time. I'm the kind of person, if I don't have great service, I'm not going to leave a review, because I don't ever want to give a low review to a business, just because I know how detriment. Like, my non-review is the downgrade for them,
Right.
And unless it's just egregious, but I actually have I can actually with your permission, I can share kind of where your reviews picked up. I've got it loaded up here, so let me do this. I need to switch this, and I'm going to go. Let me do this real quick. Pop to here. Nope, wrong one. And then I'll put you on there. It really is irritating that I can't like preload people onto this thing. So, yeah. All right, here we go. So, and then I need to look at my Zoom window and make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay. So you're seeing right now, are you seeing my screen on Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So basically, and this is more so the people that are watching either on YouTube or on the Facebook side of things. You can actually see in here the numbers. It really looks like you had 1, 2, 3 come in all of February. You had 1 in the month of January, right? And so everything from this line up is all March. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Almost 1 a day. I mean, and the only thing you did internally was make a contest. And when I tell people the value of a review, right, and how it increases your exposure, and we're talking about the fact that, it's, would I pay $50 for a review? Probably, because of how important that is. I mean, you've got $1,000 worth of reviews here, right? And so if you give that, if you give a $200 bonus or $100 bonus or something like that, or you have a first, second, and third place, the value that you're getting out of these, 15, 16, 17 reviews, by the end of the month, you'll have 20 or 25 reviews, right? And so it's so important to go in there and to get those. And these are all 5-star reviews. I mean, that's the greatest part of that. And so, yeah, I mean, that's going to have more impact than, I mean, the combination of that, especially if they're from different places, especially if these are people who are legitimate, Google reviewers, especially if they've been to a lot of different things. Google's going to see that, and it's really going to change the heat. Like, we're going to see more movement in the heat map in the next probably 60 days than we had in the several months leading up to that. That's how important it is. So let's just pull you up and see where we're at. Nope, that's New York. There's so many Radon Technologies. Yeah, there's a limited number of names in our industry of things that we can call radon.
Yeah.
Every time I'll pull these up and I'll be like, yeah, this is no, this is somebody else here. All right, so let me do this because I'm gonna put me back on here because I don't want to do any pertinent information on anybody, especially my clients. And so I'm going to pull you guys up here real quick, and we'll just take a look at. Yeah, so we've got a bunch of different. Let's go. Okay, here we go. So we're seeing last one run 18 days ago. So I mean, this is really before you got hit on. So your next one should be running here in the next week or so. But just for giggles here, we can just run it right now. My assistant's going to hate me for that, but that's okay. So here's where we're at, and then we can actually go back and see what it looks like back in December. And so we got red in there. This is the exact same, run, and so. A little bit of green. Let's see, January 1st, we'll load that up. Starting to get a little bit more green. These 20s throw me off because that's usually just an error in the thing. Sometimes, and I mean sometimes it really is. But those have all disappeared. Starting to see a little bit more at the beginning of February, and then we'll go March 1st. And this one, this keyword we were running for, it disappeared here. It should have been the mitigation. Yeah. Radon mitigation, Dayton, Ohio. I don't think we have the history on this one. That may have been just when I ran it when I first talked to you. Yeah, no, that was a weird one. But yeah, we've got a few. Radon testing is another easy one to hit. And so, it's starting to get. Let's come back here. I mean, so this is the first one. Back in December, right? Mm-hmm. And so then we can come and we can look at and see what it looks like here in March. And obviously, it's starting to get a little more yellow. But what you're doing, and again, so now we can have, when we're looking at the reviews themselves, we're having the next step, which is one of the hardest things to do, is to get your people to start using some of those keywords in the review. And it may be as simple as saying, hey, could you talk about what I did? If you could use the word mitigation in there, or if we tested, could you use that? Because those things will show up. In the same way, if you have a great burger at, Jim at your restaurant, right? Then when I'm searching for great burger joint near me, then it's going to be looking through those reviews because, again, what does Google want to do? Google wants to give me the best burger joint. So if there's one of the restaurants that has 100 or 1,000 people talking about it's the best burger I've ever had, then that's going to push those reviews even higher for that word. And so our words we're looking for are tester, radon, mitigation, mitigator, those kinds of things. Radon removal, because some people will search for that because they don't know what a mitigation is. On the far West Coast, we're saying the words, abatement. So those are things that we're trying to get into there, but I'm not greedy. I want the review first of all, and then after that, then we can be like, okay, well, the cherry on top is if they mention, but again, like this one said, Tad did a wonderful job, quick and efficient with extra care to my property, took the time to explain everything in detail. It's a great review. But if they said, we had our home tested for radon and it was super high. And so now we had somebody come back and, and we had them, very informative and friendly. So Brenda thinks you guys are friendly. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Brenda.
The only thing we're worried about now is we got one of our installers, Tad, who you can see how many reviews he has. It's like now almost every single review is talking about Tad.
So really what you can do, and again, these are great things that we can shift and we can pivot in the middle of your thing. Tad is in there saying, hey, could you mention me? Right? That's fine. The last thing you want, and you just mentioned this, is you don't want somebody calling going, well, gosh, I've seen all these reviews for Tad. I want him. So you guys can take the extra step and have someone in the office say, okay, so I have, sorry, my phone's ringing. I can look at this name, Sarah and Wade. Oh man, Tad double dipped on the Ballard family. Look at that. He got them both. But you should be able to, in theory, look at either the name of the job or the approximate date that came in, and then you guys can have a whiteboard in the office and put tallies on them, and
do that,
and so and not have those, because I will tell you that you're not supposed to have specific people listed on a Google review.
Really?
Yes, and it's great that they do, right? Because it's real people, real things. So if you are watching this back, because obviously this is right now currently a private conversation with the Dunn family and their marketing people, but if you're watching this on the playback, I hope you are. We got a couple people now on Facebook. So here's the nugget. You're not allowed to mention someone specifically on a Google review. So, if you were to have a bad Google review, that is a good way of getting it removed, is if it mentions a specific person. So, there's your nugget for that. If you signed up today, that should be worth the price of admission. But I'll also say be very, 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 very careful when trying to get reviews removed, bad reviews removed, because it can backfire. They can go through and say, if they mention Tad and it was something bad, are they going to go through and knock out every single one with Tad? Which right now would be a big deal in the month of March, right?
Yeah.
So I say that to say you want to have someone like me take care of those when there's a bad review comes in. We had this for another radon client of ours last month. They had a particularly bad one come in, and it was absurd. But I mean, I had it taken down within 3 hours. That it may have been a record for me how fast I got it down, and no strikes to their thing. They've got a million different things on there. So that's where we're at with the heat map. We're getting better. This one's, like I said, for radon testing. Let's do radon mitigation and see how we're landing on this. And then obviously, let's see.
It's just us on there with them.
We're trying to get, we've got a pretty wide wide space on here, but these reviews are going to help, especially if you're starting to get some business, in these places if the reviews are coming in from these areas as well, that's gonna certainly help. And I am gonna see, let's see, how quick I can rerun this one and do it. But yeah, I mean, the average ranking is 7. That number's going up, as we've got a bunch of we're working our way up towards these other spots here. So yeah, we'll do. I'm gonna pop out for. Let me turn this off for a second on my side, and I'm just gonna rerun it. Manage locations. Take me just a second. Radon mitigation. Radon mitigators. We'll do mitigation. Whoops. Rerun. All right. We'll pop back here. All right. So this one's running again. Like I said, it may be a little bit of time before we start to see the real shift with those coming in. I sat through it didn't run the same one. That's weird. Yeah, it didn't run the same words. So, yeah, I'll have to look at that. But yeah, I did see. I sat through a seminar today, and they're just talking about the influx of all of the AI content and stuff that's coming in, and it's one of those things where Google is now slowing down on how often they are crawling websites, how often, especially local websites, because when you talk about just a billion websites that they have to go through, the number of times that they crawl it, and so it was really a thing about how specifically we want to target the pages that they see and how often that they see it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I wanted to look and see. I'm going to pull up your actual ranking here. Let's see. And this is when I tell people, we'll come back here. When I tell people, the importance of, like, hey, don't hire an SEO company and expect that you're going to see any results, in the first, month or two, or 3 or 4. It's usually in that 4 to 6 month range, which you can see, like, here are estimated visits from on you guys from January, and it's just all of a sudden we just see this real bump in traffic and visibility and ranking on all the different search terms and things like that. Specifically when we're searching inside of Dayton, occasionally these ones that are weird, like this radon testing company near me, it thinks that this is national. My beef with this software is it tells me that it's doing Dayton, Ohio, but it still thinks that this search is. I should take these out because it makes me look bad. But the same thing, radon mitigation in Dayton. You're ranked number 1 now on that. Radon mitigation Dayton, Ohio, same thing. Radon testing, you're ranked 2. Which I may bump you down because I just saw in my seminar today, they said you don't want to be number 1 anymore because that one often has a lot of people click on it, and if they don't know what they're searching for, like they type something in and it's like they didn't really want radon removal. They thought it was they were having carbon monoxide poisoning or something, and they typed in radon. I don't know what it is, but they were talking about how people often click on that first one and then they bounce back, or Google's watching how long you're on a website. So if you jump back in a minute, then they're like, oh, well, this must be the wrong thing for this search term. And so this guy had the whole argument about how you don't want to be ranked number one anymore. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if I subscribe to that, but I mean, we'll sit and watch the data. When I was down in Orlando 3 weeks ago, I heard about something that I'm keeping pretty close to the vest for my clients, so I'm not going to talk about it here, but it has to do with those local map pack results and how those are influencing your regular organic website results. And depending on how you rank in one, it may negatively affect the other one. And so it's kind of if it comes to fruition, you're going to see hundreds of thousands of businesses basically have a separation between, if you rank on one, you won't rank on the other. And the conference I was at basically has a stopgap to make sure that you go on both. And I'm like, well, that's smart. And I'm, anytime we can do stuff and stay ahead of people, that's obviously the goal. Because Google is just constantly changing, and a lot of that is because of the AI stuff that's happening. So yeah, so this one's looking good. And
is there still a lot of value in paying for the Google ads, being listed up higher with that?
If you've got the budget for it, I'm always pro ads, because you're gonna be in three different places, right? You're gonna be at the top of the ads, you're gonna be at the top of the map pack, and you're gonna be top of the organic search. So even if it's $10 a day, and it's you're spending $300 a month, it's worth it to me, because I want to see that up there. Because some people will just always click on the first thing that they see, and that's the ad. That's why they make, that's why they're so valuable. I mean, we're looking at these right here, and back when I was on the heat map, I mean, we're talking about almost $11.50 a click for radon mitigation. I mean, that's the assumption on that. So that is it. There, you might be paying $10 a day to get one click, but if they don't click on it, they see it at the top, they scroll down a little bit, then it's just recognition. And again, you got to be in front of somebody 7 times before they're ready to make a decision. And that is the tornado warning for my area. It is bright, so I can see clouds, but my phone and everything is absolutely blowing up. So there's a tornado nearby. So we may be cutting this short if my office is taken out into the across the street. Wow, that's loud and annoying. Oh, we have a weather radio. That's what it is. Can you hear it in the background? Wow, that's exciting that my microphone is so good. Because literally, I don't know. In Dayton, it's on its way. You guys will be getting you get our weather about 7 or 8 hours after we have it. So, it's literally, like the phone goes off, the weather radio goes off, the computer, like everything. So we'll see if we cut this short. Other questions you got for me? Nothing?
I don't think. No.
Okay.
Nope.
Cool.
Ben did ask about our muffler. I told him he had to sign an NDA before.
Yeah.
Not quite ready.
You're putting Vaseline on the lens, so I don't see anything.
Ben, we can show you one of the products that'll be at the next symposium.
Okay.
We've been working here.
Let me
This
get
is
out of the way.
The mitigator.
a T-shirt. Yep.
That's funny.
We'll have these available at the symposium.
Very nice.
I'll give you one for free.
Yes. Yeah, I know that those are a hit with people, so very funny. Well, hey, I did have. I'll jump back over here. I did have one that came in here just recently from Paul in New Mexico, Radon, New Mexico. Known Paul here for a long time, and he has gone through a lot of different iterations of his website. So we'll see if Paul gets a chance to take a look at this later, and just to make sure that you guys are getting So the Paul wanted me to do an audit of his site, and I have not looked at it in a while. And it looks great. The first thing that I see, and having seen a lot of different versions of the Radon Pro of New Mexico's website, is that a couple things. One, he's got a pretty unique logo. Really like the logo here. I don't know if I can open in a bigger window that it might get a little bit bigger. Yeah. So a neat logo that's unique to, kind of has the radon symbol, kind of has a fan symbol. It's, for those of you that know what it is, I like that a lot. So that's something new that he's done. But he's also kind of gone up with a different color scheme that a lot of people would normally stay away from. But I like it because it's just something unique and different. So a lot of radon guys are doing the standard, like caution yellow, that kind of thing. I think there's nothing wrong with your business looking like a regular business, like it would be a plumber or HVAC or something else. And so with that said, he's using these colors, and it's kind of a gradient throughout the website. And I've got a pretty big monitor here. The size of this is approximately like maybe 50%, maybe a little more than that of my entire window. I know that when you open it up on a laptop and it's full screen or something like that, changes the perspective. But this is kind of where I'm, where I keep my browser windows, which I think is important, because if you change it to, a different size, it's going to change what you see and how you see it. So I'll often, when I'm designing sites, I'm often jumping from multiple browsers, multiple computers. I'm going to look at it obviously on a mobile. I'm going to look at it on desktop. So I'll say this: if you do have a question, you want to jump in on Facebook, I'm watching for the comments over there, and I'm also watching for the comments on YouTube if you happen to have questions or you want me to do your website before I get hit by Dorothy and Toto. So it is literally like, it's windy. It's like the most beautiful day outside. Like it's literally like if there's a tornado that comes through, people will not know that it's coming because it is so gorgeous outside. So looking here at Paul's site, immediately I see a ton of text, like just an absolute ton of text. And I call, back in the newspaper days, we called above the fold, right? That the first thing I see when I load the website, I do see some of the New Mexico, landscape back there. So clearly I could tell it's New Mexico. I will say we're trying to hit those, SEO type things. I can tell it because I know, people, the way that people do it. So Radon Pro of New Mexico is your trusted partner ensuring a radon-free environment throughout New Mexico. And it's New Mexico's in there twice, but it's also the name of the business. So I get that. 15 years of experience. Our team provides top-notch radon testing and mitigation solutions. And so stay safe and healthy. Good tagline there. But with that said, I'd probably get maybe just a photo that just makes it break up a lot of this text. And so I see the request a quote right away here. This to me looks like a second level, like up here in the menu. We've got the top level, and we do this too. So we've got a top level to get some of that good SEO up here. Then we've got our menu. Menu is simple. Love that. I mean, we're all in an industry here that it's relatively simple. I think that this is huge. Just the bilingual staff is really important, especially in an area like this. I'm going to draw more attention to that, just because I think Spanish-speaking professionals is important. But like I said, I'm a big fan of putting a very quick, easy form to fill out, contact form right here on the front. You'll see with a lot of the websites that we design for a lot of our radon guys and service industry people, we are putting that website right away, right up front. And we're making it simple, because there are some people who just clicked on it and they're like, yeah, no, I want a quote. And they'll just type, they literally do not go through the website. They just fill that out, which is like golden to Google, because Google is tracking if you went through that thing that you have determined that you want them to do, which is, fill out a form. If you're in an e-commerce situation, then the thing that you want them to do is to buy something, right? So if they get something into their cart and they buy it, then you completed that task that you wanted from the customer. But yeah, in this case, I'd probably get a quote up there. And again, I just break up this text, because my brain, it's a lot to inhale. And as I come down, I'm seeing, I went from the residential services, the commercial services. I'd either break these up so that they're just slightly different in the way that as I go through them, and then I'm going to come down here. All of my photos here are vertical photos, which again is the nature of the beast of radon systems. But, I'd be interested to see how this either works on mobile. And this is the first set of photos that I'm seeing on here. If I go back, I assume that I can go back. I don't necessarily know what this is as a consumer. This just looks like you've got a light on. Am I in an attic? Am I in a crawl space? You probably don't have crawl spaces down there. And snow in New Mexico. So photos are good. But, not that I want to manipulate things, but I'd probably go in here and Photoshop and I'd take this wire out of here, because it just looks like that's the worst cable installation I've seen. This is a nice looking photo. It does, and maybe if the Peanut Gallery wants to chime in, this looks like this has been stretched tight. Like the proportions of this fan look weird to me. Maybe that's just me.
I've noticed a lot of the time when I'm taking pictures on my iPhone, sometimes, if you can't step far enough away, you switch it to like the 0.5 zoom. Yep. And that kind of throws off the proportions. I think that's probably what it is. It
might be, yeah. Now, the other thing that I'll say is, and what happens is when you use a frame like this and you load all your photos into the frame, it's going to make each photo the size of this frame. And so that's instead of putting, black around it or making it, whatever, it's what should really happen is that the frame of this should alter slightly based on the photo, or you'd want to go in and crop each photo so it fits in there. This is a nuanced thing, not a huge deal. By this time on the website, I'm definitely, if I've scrolled down through 3 or 4 pages, I'm putting an actual form. I want a form for someone to fill out. I do not want to make them go to a separate page. So I'm putting a form on here. Now, who we serve, residential, commercial buildings, multi-unit realtors, schools, and daycares. We all know what residential is, but maybe not everyone knows what residential is. So So we've said residential several times. We've said commercial several times. I'm going to mix it up a little bit just for SEO terms. I'm going to write homes, right? Family homes or things like that. I'm going to talk about businesses instead of commercial buildings. So we do mitigation for businesses, realtors, as well experience working with realtors and closing agents. These are half a sentence. So I'm not really looking too much into the actual, like the written word. That's a whole other audit. But I'm doing a little bit here just because I'm on this page. Create a safe and radon low home for your family. So yeah, I might say, our team will create a safe and radon low. I realize we're not going to say radon free, or a safe radon level for your family and your family. Like, just maintain a healthy environment for occupants. It seems very, it's fitting that it's on the corporate page, but I might, and this is a small box, but in there I'm going to talk about you're spending 8 hours a day or more inside of your office. Let's make sure the radon level's low. So I'm doing that, and then I'm probably throwing a commercial building photo behind here, and the schools and daycares. Ensure safe environments for teachers and children. Yeah, it's not bad. And am I getting any hover? Nah, I make it a little more exciting as I hover over. I do something. Again, Paul, I know you. This is a great website. So the stuff that we're talking about here are such small things. I could pull up some bad websites and we can look at them. Not that I want to offend anybody by doing that, but it is one of those things where I love the reviews. I love that I can see more. But as far as am I converting on this, I'm going to be looking at the flow of people that come to the website through Google, and I want to know where they're bouncing out, if they're clicking onto the contact us, if they're getting to the requested quote, or if they're reading this and then clicking away. Stay informed on radon. Looks like here's your blog. And so, as we get on here, 8 top things. So we got some great content here. And then down here, we're looking at we're at the request a quote. So let's go ahead and click on the request a quote. And so this is great. It just shows a map of the area. So maybe somewhere on the map, you want to put your maybe a pin or a radius or something like that. So it just says service area. And it looks like you've got an office here. So maybe I'd put a pin in it. And then just showing people where you're at. Reason for inquiry. I need a radon system service. I need a radon test done. That's great. Real estate transaction. And then we're getting that information down here. All looks fine. It's interesting just having your name come in after the address. That's just a weird thing in my brain. But nothing wrong with it. I love this. Preferred communication, email, phone call, text message. Obviously some people do not want you to call them. They want to they might do a $3,000 system, but they only want to do it by text message. So that's fine. Days and times work best for an assessment. I might say, like, what is an assessment? Is that because I asked for a test? Is that the assessment? So careful to not speak in your terms. Try to dumb it down for client terms. This would just be, what works best for your schedule? When would you like to have service done? Something like that. These look like buttons to me. As I come down, I'm inclined to click on these. But yeah, like this. I like the why choose us. Those are great. As we go into the now, I will say this. I'm back up at the top. We've got resource financing. that stick with you? That's something we should talk about some week, is financing for our clients. Radon Resources. Looks like we've got, that's just our blog. We'll come in here and look at some of the mitigation stuff. It looks pretty much like the template of the rest of the site. Got photos. Again, all these photos are in this 4:3 format, so they're probably going to get skewed a little bit if I click on them. Love this. I can make it bigger. I don't know if anybody ever wants to sit and look at radon fans, but I do know a lot of. Well, that's weird. It's got me. Now I'm not able to click out of this. Oh, I see. So that is something that's got me. I can move it though. That's weird. That's got to be a bug, right? Reload this page and see if I can replicate that. So what did I do? I went through here. I went back a little bit. I clicked out. Okay. Oh, I made it big. That's what it was. So somewhere in here, there's probably an X to get out of here, but I don't see it. So that's odd. So I'm stuck in, when I make a photo big, I'm stuck. So that is the thing I would fix, because obviously if I'm not able to do it, this font color is a little hard for me to read. Right against this other color here, so I'd probably make that a little bit different there. But yeah, I mean, this is looking good. We've got similar content. Now, when I clicked on commercial radon mitigation, I see a kid. So if you're going to talk about schools, maybe have same content, but maybe something that's, because it is kind of weird. I clicked on commercial thinking I'm doing office spaces or businesses or multifamily or things like that. And then I see a kid here looking at, I mean, I know what you're trying to do, but we follow up with coverage of the test. Yeah. I like every bit of this. I'd probably just put some more photos to break up some of this text. I'd probably change. It looks like there's a gradient behind here, just to make it a little bit different as you kind of go through the different pages. So yeah, I mean, it's. Let me just see. I might pop out of this for a second, and I'll pull you up in. Let's do a heat map. Just try to make sure that I'm not sharing anything I shouldn't be. Okay, so let's look at Radon Pro of New Mexico. I'm going to do radon mitigation and radon testing. And so now when I did it through the GMB, here's where it put that. Put your grid. So Paul, let's see. I know you're hitting a pretty wide area. Let's get it to be probably even wider than that. And we'll start here. And we'll see if that's approximately the area that you're serving. This is that's an 86-mile radius from your shop. Let's come into an hour. Let's make it so you don't have to drive more than an hour to get to a job. Okay, so this is 58 miles. And got everything good there. All right. We'll run these and see what happens. So we talk about the heat map a lot. If you're unfamiliar, if we haven't talked about that, we're going to do New Mexico radon mitigation. if you ever hear me talk about, let's see, radon testing New Mexico, and actually let's do Albuquerque. I'm never going to be able to spell that. How do we spell Albuquerque? A-B. I'm not going to get it right. Everybody look away. Oh, wait. Oh, I see it. It's in the thing. I can steal it from down there. A-B-A-L-B-U-Q-U-E-R-Q-U-E. All right. So, here we've got radon testing Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you hear me talk about this, this is the most important thing I'll talk about. I am not down to this is the above the fold stuff. I am not down to the organic search results yet. Right now, this would, if there were ads, if I were in Albuquerque and there were ads running, they'd probably show up here. I like running ads for testing because sometimes it's cheaper to run ads for testing. So if we can get some low-hanging fruit for fewer dollars, I like that. That would be up here. So I've got my radon testing, but now I'm in businesses. This is what we call the map pack. Anybody who's heard me talk about this, you know how important it is, but if you haven't heard me talk about it, it's the most important thing. Because right now I've got a choice of 3 businesses. It doesn't matter where I'm at. It's giving me these 3 businesses. One has 34 reviews, and they are beating out a company that has 1,400 reviews. And then the third one has 12 reviews. And so why did these 3 come up first? It's because Google is trying to give me what they think is the best results for this search term. And so if I click on more businesses, I get 1, 2, 3. Now we have A Pro, radon text. In the same way, if I typed in burger joint Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's not going to always give me the closest one. Now I see Radon Pro of New Mexico is way up here. They are down, 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 down. And so they're right there. So if I searched, if I check this, I should see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, depending on where they are in this area. Radon Pro is going to come up as number 7. And Radon Pro 4.9, I mean, perfect score, 159 reviews. But we want to, we want to know why it's doing that. And when we come over to the heat map tool, so it's showing me if I were actually there, if I were actually searching for it, that we're coming up as number 1 until we get down into this Albuquerque area, and we're seeing exactly what I saw in my results, which was that 7 or 8. Now it's possible that Paul doesn't want to work down here, so it doesn't matter. He's getting great numbers close to his office. But if we reran the same thing and we said, hey, we really want, like, Albuquerque's where the money's at, we want to make sure that we're down there, then that is something that we want to make sure that we're going into, and we're getting it from there. So let me reset this search, and I want to get the other one that we just ran. That was radon mitigation, so here's radon testing. So same thing, similar results. Radon testing obviously is going to have more people in the home inspection business. So when we get down to the Albuquerque area, now we're seeing that Radon Pro of New Mexico is not showing up on those at all. So if we really wanted to hit Albuquerque, even though the office is way up here, we're going to have to come up with some strategies in order to hit this. But as I mentioned, this is an hour away from your office, so it's possible that is not where you want to be, where you want to work. But I know some guys, they live here, their office is here, but they work here, so they'll run to the office, once or twice a week, grab, a bunch of supplies, and then they'll pop back and they'll do those those jobs in that area. So really, Paul, take this with a grain of salt, because this looks great. This is the Pac-Man view right here. You got all here except for this little Pac-Man area mouth if he's kind of coming down that way. It looks good. Those of you that are over on Facebook now, this is your chance. If you wanted me to take a look at your site, do a review of it, I can absolutely do that. Really what I'll do is when I'm looking at the map like this, we'll go down to radon mitigation. This is what I do all day long because I just want to see what people, are doing. And so I may come to Nebraska and, and search this area and see, I'm literally just, American Radon Solutions, clicking on it, taking a look at the website. Here's somebody in Kansas. Now that's interesting. Instead of having a website, they had their Google business page linked to their Facebook profile. So right off the bat, there's your website audit. You need a website. So American Radon Solutions in Hays, Kansas. Give me a call. Your last post was in 2024, September. Before that, 2021, 2019. So even this, I'm questioning whether or not you're still in business. And did you ever call Mary? Because Mary, she wanted to have her radon taken care of this fall, back in 2019. We'd love to see a response from the business here. So, yeah, I mean, we've got, don't have a professional domain, don't have a professional email address. For a good time, call 785-432-0511. We want to get, this is not showing up. Maybe you've got all the business you need and you're just doing fine because you're kind of, but let's go to like a more popular area, right? Let's go to Oklahoma City. Let's go somewhere where the radon's super, super duper high and go to, I want to go somewhere where I don't have somebody you're not going to see. Let's go down by St. Louis. That's just a few hours down here by me. I don't have any clients in St. Louis right now. So this will be fun. Let's go to Miller. Hey, that's somebody that I should give a discount to. So here's Miller Environmental Mitigation. And so got some photos on the Google business page. That's a good thing. I don't know why it's not opening up. That's weird. I'm going to click on it. Here's a website that's clearly, 10 years old, 2014. Why? Because I guarantee if I take this and it is not mobile ready, Google is not showing this website at all anywhere. So, all right, Millers, I'm coming for you. We got to stick together. So here, schedule now, schedule an appointment. We've got kind of a sad contact form here. I just see a calendar, but I can't do anything with it. So that's kind of weird. It shows, I can. Oh my goodness, you do not want that. I can click on here, guys, Millers, friends, countrymen, Millers. I can click on this right here and add your calendar to my calendar. I can literally see where you're working. That's bad. Don't do that. So I'm flabbergasted. We don't want that. So on here again, love this, about us. Let's get a current photo. This one looks like it's 10 years old. Why should we test for radon? It's bad. It kills people. So we want to look at these websites here. We know this one's bad. I'm on the homepage, and there's a link to the homepage. Let's see. Order a free test kit. What happens if I do that? Justin Miller Environmental and Mitigation. Is that the ME mitigation? Meme mitigation. And so, yeah, looks like it covers a bunch of different places in Southern Illinois. But obviously, if you're this close to St. Louis, there should be a ton of business there. And we're missing out on it. The appointment. Yeah, it's that one definitely. Let's see. What else we got down by St. Louis? Who's your competition? How about AA Radon Services? Let's look them up. Really no Google business profile here, so that's kind of interesting. And it takes me right to the contact form. And then is this the home page? That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. So, that baby's got a straight up radon on him. So, yeah, I could do this all day long. I love looking at I do this all day long. We don't post on the internet. So, hey, and also little tips and tricks here. See where it says not secure up here in the corner? That's bad. You absolutely, if your website host is not secure, Google's going to downrank you big time. So that's a big no-no, because Google wants their clients to have a safe experience. Let's see, Radon Control Services. This looks like a relatively new business. Radon Testing, St. Louis Radon. Now I do know St. Louis Radon. We've seen them before. So St. Louis Radon, much better site here. Testing, mitigation, a lot of content here. So yeah, just if I'm just comparing it, if I'm a potential client, I'm looking through these. Whoa! That's funny. But yeah, I've got the contact form here. It's great. So hey, yeah, if you're in St. Louis, hit me up, because I can get you some business, because it looks like there is some. It definitely looks like there's an opportunity for big time growth in this area. Huge growth. And I went to school down by St. Louis. I know the area. Here's our color scheme. This is probably not going to look great on mobile. Huge font, huge stuff. And then just a random PayPal thing here. So Erica at Radon Safety Squad, give me a holler. So guys, I love doing this. We'll try to do this more frequently, and I'll give you a little bit more warning so that we can take a look at the heat. If you want to see heat maps, if you want to see how your business is ranking, we can pop over here. Those ones that I was doing here earlier. We could do. Let's just do a keyword. I'll come over here. Search engine. So we'll do radon mitigation, and we want to do St. Louis, Missouri. And so this is going to give me an idea just in the general area of St. Louis, what kind of results we're getting. Yeah, that's not working right today. Let's try it over here in the keyword side of things. Radon mitigation, and we're going to check that again in St. Louis. And find it over here. This will give me an idea of kind of what people are searching in the area. Also, it tells me I can do some serious work on it. Yeah, they told me they were going to be down, so this is a horrible time for me to do this. But it gives me an idea. Again, when people are asking me what are the words that people search for in the St. Louis area, radon abatement's pretty low. But a lot of people are typing radon removal system or radon system installation. These are the things that when we're ranking and we're doing keyword analysis and we're trying to rank you for, I want to see what are the words that people are searching in your area, so that I can see, how your, website stacks up and works there. So, yeah, we're managed to lose my thing here. Let me get back to where are we at? There we go. I lost my camera for those of you watching it on oops, wrong side. There we go. Those of you watching this over on Facebook and YouTube, I'm all out of sorts here. So I killed my my video screen. So hey, thanks for watching here. If you're tuning in and watching this later, appreciate it. We're definitely we've got some guest speakers and things lined up, but and like I said, I've got a couple more seminars that I'm working on, and got some really important stuff to share with you as well. But thank you for checking in, for watching today. If you're watching this later, I'm going to throw it in the Facebook comments. But if you go to servicebooster.com, it's or if you got the email today, but we'll throw in the comments. It's free/SEO-audit. That'll take you to the page. Or if you want me to go through and really do a deep dive on this, I'll shoot a video on it, and we'll jump on Zoom and I can show you kind of how it is on your website. But yeah, it's totally free. Would love to show you what the potential is, what the search traffic is, and because we're out here to save lives, make money, and really change our family and help out other families. And so that's what we're all out here to do. And my job is to help you do that and get you in front of as many people as possible. If you're providing a good service, I want to be the one that tells the world about it. So hit me up, give me a call, and we'll see you next week. Thank you guys so much for joining us, for being on here today. We will see you. We'll see you soon. Thanks.